Welcome back to Yoga with Mom. I'm Jen. Let's get started. So as always, I hope that you drank some water today and you had a nice bite to eat. And now you should be sitting in a nice comfortable chair on nice flat ground, ready to go. Hopefully you're wearing something cozy, but you look good to me. All right, let's get started. So make sure you're planted nice and safely on your chair, nice and comfortably. Your feet are on the ground, nice and firm. Perfect. We're going to start off like we always do, stretching our neck. So I'm going to lean my right ear to my right shoulder. And I want you to move your jaw around just a little bit. It looks silly, but it helps release some of those muscles in our neck. Perfect. Let's switch left ear to left shoulder. And we'll do the same thing. We'll move our jaw a little bit. I feel a little silly when I do that, a little bit like a ventriloquist. Let's move that right ear back to that right shoulder. Keep moving your jaw. Very good. And then left ear goes back to left shoulder. There we go. Now I want you to lean your right ear down to the right shoulder, and we're going to stretch our left arm up nice and tall. I want you to wiggle your fingers a little bit. There you go. Keep that right ear reaching down to your shoulder. The left arm reaches tall. Perfect. Let's take a deep breath in. And then I want to slowly lower my arm down, reaching away and wiggling those fingers. Really trying to stretch it out. There you go. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle those fingers. And then slowly lower it down towards the ground. Your palm is still facing forward. Very good. That ear still kisses your shoulder. Now let's swing that arm slowly towards the center of the body. Our palm faces the ground and our fingers keep wiggling, wiggling, wiggling. Very nice. Let's wiggle for 3, 2, and 1. Very nice. That was a good one. My arm is tired already. All right, let's switch sides. Left ear goes to left shoulder. Very nice. And we're going to reach that right arm up tall, wiggling those fingers. Very good. Remember to breathe. Really wiggle, wiggle, wiggling. Looking good. And then we're going to slowly bring that arm down to the side, stretching long and wiggling those fingers. There we go. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggling. And then slowly bring it down towards your hip. There we go. Wiggle, 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 wiggling. And my left ear is still glued to my left shoulder. And now I'm going to bring that right arm across my body in the front. The palm faces the ground, wiggling those fingers. There you go. Just a few more seconds. You can do it. Don't give up. 3, 2, and 1. Perfect. Let's shake those arms out. Very good. This is a great start today. All right, let's reach those arms out now. Perfect. And we're going to make little circles with our wrists. I'm going to start going clockwise, but it doesn't matter which way you're going right now because we're going to switch it up. So just make a few circles this way. And then we switch, going the opposite way. There you go. You're looking good. All right, get ready. We're going to switch again and make bigger circles using our elbows, getting more of our arm involved. Very good. One more big circle, and then we'll switch and go the other way. Really working it into those elbows. Very good. All right, and then stop. We're gonna switch and go even bigger. So big windmill arms all the way. So you might wanna go nice and slow with these because they're big circles. Bringing the shoulders into it. Perfect. Let's do 2 and 1, and now we're gonna switch and go the opposite way. Getting some nice big circles in, really warming up your shoulders, Getting some good movement in here. Here we go, just a couple more here. Stretch. And there we go. All right. Now let's hold on to our shoulders. Perfect. I want you to bring those elbows into touch and then out to the side. There you go. Really stretching through your chest. And when you bring them in, bend your spine a little bit forward, so you're kind of curling and curving a little bit, hunching that back. And then we straighten out, pull that chest out forward. There you go. We really want to exaggerate the movement so we feel like we're crouching, curling, and then popping up nice and open on our chest. Just a couple more. Curl and crouch, 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 crouch. Really curl that spine. Pop it open. Yeah, nice and straight and strong. My spine reaches tall. Let's curl in one more time. Really get everything curled up. Feeling a nice stretch this way. And let's pop it open one more time. Elbows are down. Really opening our chest, stretching tall. Looking very good today. Awesome. All right, perfect. Let's let those hands go. We're gonna bring our left hand over to our left thigh. Our right arm is gonna reach towards either the arm of our chair, this side of our chair, or kind of towards our bottom. And we're gonna just do a gentle twist. So I'm gonna hold on. Most of the pressure I'm using is gonna be in this left hand, pushing into my thigh. So you wanna make sure your right leg is planted. There you go. So I'm gonna push and twist and just look gently over my right shoulder, looking behind me, and really making sure to keep my spine nice and tall, nice and long. The crown of my head really reaches tall. Let's take a deep breath in together. And then as we exhale, we move back through center, and we're gonna switch sides. So the right hand goes onto my left thigh. My left hand goes to the thigh or the side of the chair, the arm of the chair, and I just push into that right palm, twisting my body, gazing over that left shoulder, really trying to stretch and reach long. Remembering our nice deep breaths here. All right, let's make our way back to center. Very nice. Okay, now we're gonna bring our hands together, palms go together in prayer at our heart center. I want you just to gently bow your head down a little bit so your nose kisses your middle fingertips. Just take a nice deep breath in and out. In and out. All right, let's keep those palms glued together. We're gonna reach those arms up to the sky, really stretching tall, stretching that spine nice and tall, pulling our shoulder blades back a little bit. And if you can, poke your head through your arms. My goal is going to be to gaze down at my belly button, but keeping my palms pushing into each other. Really feeling a nice stretch in my back. Gazing down at my belly button. I'm going to take a nice big deep breath in. And then as I exhale, I'm going to straighten my head up. I'm going to keep my palms glued, and they're going to fall behind my back. If I can keep my palms together, that's my goal. So they're glued together behind my head. And I want to gently push into my thumbs, pushing gently on the back of my neck and my head. And then my head gently pushes back, just to give myself a little bit of a stretch. I'm going to take a deep breath in. And then as I exhale, I'm going to bring my hands down to the sides of my chair. There you go. Oof, good. That was a good one. That was a nice stretch. All right, let's make sure you're planted firmly on your chair. We're gonna start moving those legs again today. All right, so as always, we'll start off simple with our marches. So lifting those legs one at a time. And you can kind of stamp your leg down on the ground, stomp a little bit. There you go. Get some extra movement, work those muscles. Doing good. Perfect. Bam, bam, bam. Looking good. All right. Do 3, 2, and 1. Perfect. All right, now we're gonna move on. I'm gonna plant that left leg. Sorry, I got an itch there. Perfect, planted left leg. I'm gonna hold on to my seat and I'm gonna bring that left or that right leg up and stretch it out straight. Perfect. Now I want to do some kicks with this leg. So I'm gonna set my foot to the ground and then kick it back up. Down and up, down and up, down and up, down and up. Very good. We'll do a few more. Down and up, down and up, down and up, down and up. Perfect. Now we're gonna switch. Plant that right leg down. My left leg stretches out, and I'm gonna kick up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. Perfect. Up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. One more. Up and down. Very nice. All right, now it's gonna get tricky, so I wanna make sure you're nice and planted on your seat. You're very stable. At this point, you need to hold onto your arms or onto the sides of your chair because we're gonna be kicking with both legs. Okay, so I want you to pick up your right leg and kick, and then left leg. So we're gonna go bam, 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 bam. So right, left. There you go. Just go back and forth, kicking the legs. There you go. It doesn't have to be crazy fast. We just want to do leg after leg, leg after leg. There you go. Really doing a nice kick, kick, and try to keep yourself seating straight as possible on here as you're kicking. It's really easy to bend backwards. I'm doing it myself. So it's a good time to remind us all, sitting as straight as we can, kicking. There you go. All right, you've done a wonderful job with these kicks. Let's give ourselves a little bit of a break. All right, so now I want you to plant your feet on the ground. What we're gonna do is hold on to our chair and we're gonna just wiggle our knees away from each other. If you have sensitive knees, you might wanna put your hand in between your knees so it bops into your hand and your knees don't bop into each other. I have a pretty sensitive knee, so I don't want them to smack into each other. But this is nice. I'm just releasing my hips a little bit. There you go. And if it feels good and you're nice and stable, you can even put your feet on the balls of your feet and wiggle it this way. Just wiggling these knees and letting our hips be free. It's good because we've always got to worry about how strong our hips are. They're one of the most important parts of our body. Everything's important, but without your hips, how do you walk? All right, let's do a couple more wiggles. 2 and 1. Perfect. All right, let's set our feet down. Wonderful. All right, now we're gonna do something extra fun. I want you to take your right hand. I'm gonna hold on to my hip right here. So I got it crossed across my body. Perfect. And I'm gonna reach my left arm up and over my head. So I'm not twisting, I'm just reaching up and over. There we go. If you'd like or prefer, you can also hold on to the arm of your chair. So hold on to the hip or arm of the chair. And just lean into the side, into your lean. I really want to put pressure onto my hip here. Just pushing and stretching. Noticing how deep my stretch can go. Very good. Curl those hands down, reaching all the way overhead. All right, take a deep breath and we'll straighten ourselves back up. Wonderful. Now we're gonna switch sides. Left hand goes to our right hip or to the chair. My right arm reaches up to the sky and over, tipping my body to the side in my chair. Not twisting, just leaning to the side. Holding on tight to make sure I can push as deep as I want into my stretch. Remembering to breathe and also remembering to make sure that we are stable in our chairs. There we go. A nice deep breath in and out. All right, let's roll ourselves back up to seated. Very nice. Let's put our hands on our knees. You're doing a wonderful job. Today's practice is pretty intense. Okay. So let's just take a nice big deep breath in and really let it fill up your whole chest. Yeah, there you go. The shoulder blades drop down your back. And exhale, you can just fold your head a little bit. Just inhale ourselves nice and tall. And exhale, let's fold a little bit. All right, wonderful. Let's sit up nice and straight again. We're doing great. All right, I want you to make sure you're seated nice and firmly again. We always got to recheck ourselves. And right now we're going to do a forward fold. So you can either leave your feet where they are, or you can step them just a bit forward, straighten your legs just a bit. But you want to make sure that your feet are still firm on the ground and that your chair isn't going to slide out behind you and go somewhere. So you might want to be against a wall. That's a great idea. You need to be careful though, because as we lean forward, we push our hips back and our chair can push back. So if you're not in a very safe place for the chair to push back, you might want to keep your knees in nice and close and just lean forward this way. But it's up to you, just be careful. All right, I'm gonna stretch my legs out a little bit. I'm gonna reach my arms up to the sky, take a deep breath in, and then I'm gonna fold down over my legs, reaching towards my toes. My face is getting close to my knees, and I'm stretching, bending down, bending nice and flat here. Let's take a nice big inhale. And when we exhale, we're gonna roll ourselves back up into our chair. Our arms reach tall. Very nice. Stretch those fingers up, and then we're gonna roll ourselves back down to fold again. Ready? Deep inhale, and exhale, roll, fold down. Very nice. Let's take a nice inhale and roll ourselves back up. Perfect. And we can appreciate in this moment the allergy season does not last forever. Perfect. All right, let's fold over one more time. Ready? Deep breath in. And exhale, fold down. There we go. Really appreciate that stretch in your low back, a little bit in your hamstrings and your thighs. Really remember to breathe deep here and stretch. Let's take one more big inhale together. And as I exhale, I'm gonna roll myself back up on my seat. Very nice. All right, it's perfect. Let's bring our knees back in to about our 90 degree where they're nice and comfortably bent on our seat. Perfect. Now, I want you to reach your left arm up in the air, and my right leg's gonna reach out. So it goes out to the side or out to the front a little bit. Either way is great. Reaching out, and then in, out, in, out, in. There we go. We're just stretching a little bit in a silly way. Kind of feel like a star. Stretching out and in, out and in, out, in. One more out and and in. Perfect. Put the foot back down, the arm goes back down. I'm gonna reach my right arm up and to the side. Left leg out to the side. And then in, out, in, out, in. Very good. Keep going. Out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in. One more. Out and in. Very nice. That was very good. It's kind of challenging, but we always want to work on our balance and extra stretches, so fantastic job. All right. Well, I'd like you to take a deep breath in and out. All right, let's bring our hands back to our heart center. We're going to bring our palms together in our prayer. And we're going to take a couple more deep breaths together to finish off our day. All right, you did such a good job. Take a nice big inhale and exhale. Inhale. One more inhale. Thank you so much for being here today at Yoga with Mom class. I've had such a great time and I hope you have too. I'm Jen and I can't wait to see you next time. You take care. Bye.